Now we turn to something different and very special. It's a story decades in the making that sheds light on the politics of today in the broadest sense. Now, I've been working on parts of this for the last few weeks, and I believe it will interest you a lot. It begins as a story of crime and drugs, politics and fashion in 1970s Harlem, with shootouts, dice games, and a drug epidemic that sparked a national crackdown in policing.
On the streets of New York, it's called crack, and the deals go down quickly.
With crack so cheap and accessible on inner city streets, and with the waiting list for drug treatment programs so long, no one is even guessing at how widespread the epidemic of crack babies will be.
This squad of cops, all but one white, is heading for patrol duty in New York's predominantly black Harlem. There have been charges of abuse and brutality.
The U.S. murder rate hit an all-time high back then in 1980. New York was ground zero. Ruthless gangsters like Nicky Barnes, Harlem's biggest drug dealer, scared the city, and many saw this problem as a product of black inner-city neighborhoods, while plenty of gangsters outside Harlem also terrorized New York with brazen violence. On a busy street in Midtown Manhattan, gangsters assassinated mob boss Big Paul Castellano. Drug and gang violence was rampant, and New Yorkers like Donald Trump called for a crackdown as law and order became a national political mantra.
I hate these people, and let's all hate these people, because maybe hate is what we need if we're going to get something done.
Crime today is an American epidemic. We intend to do what is necessary to end the drug menace and cripple organized crime.
Politics shapes policy, and there were new laws for the war on drugs, waged largely against poor and minorities. And this was the environment that raised this man, Daniel Day. Born in Harlem in 1944, he did what many young men did to survive: hustling, gambling, finding ways to make money underground. And while so many of his peers were cut down by drugs or violence or prison, Day not only survived, he thrived by building the persona Dapper Dan. First as one of the best-dressed hustlers in Harlem, then as a fur salesman, then turning himself into the fashion icon he is today, originating a luxury style that fashion companies were not offering. Top houses like Louis Vuitton and Gucci did not cater to Harlem's black community. Dan saw a market opportunity. His peers prized luxury brands that these companies didn't even sell as clothes. And Dan knew then what many corporations were ignoring. Harlem had style, it had customers, and it had money, especially from the gangsters. So Dan innovated a whole new look from whole cloth, buying up Gucci bags and luggage for the logo, sewing it onto newly tailored clothes, and marketing that as a new street style, a remix of downtown luxury, uptown. Take a look at this bomber jacket with the Gucci logo prominently featured along with that custom leather trim. It repurposes the iconic Gucci G for a new jacket. And Dan says his customers knew he was making something original. They weren't paying for the Gucci logo, but for the remix. And the style became a hit. With underworld anti-heroes like some of these gangsters, Dan lined some of the coats with bulletproof material upon request. Athletes and musicians started to echo the same style. Here are his tailored jackets for then heavyweight champ Mike Tyson, or NBA player Walter Berry, sporting this jacket covered in Louis Vuitton logos, the same look favored, as you see here, by the rappers, the Fat Boys, or rapper LL Cool J wearing a tracksuit covered in those logos. Stars ranging from Beyonce to Selma Hayek would go on to rock Dan's signature style. And Dan's Harlem shop grew from the attention. While his customers paid extra for the Dapper Dan look, they knew they weren't buying a Gucci product, just like Andy Warhol's fans knew he was making art, not soup ads. But the fashion houses did not see it that way. They cracked down, suing Dan, seizing his product. More heat followed, subpoenas for his Harlem clients, raids on his store. There was even a talented young lawyer named Sonia Sotomayor, now on the Supreme Court, who showed up one day to help her fashion client lead a raid. Dan recalls she did everything by the book and even complimented a mink coat he had in the showroom. Dan had many customers and artists on his side, and most culture echoes something. Picasso joked bad artists copy and mature artists steal. He openly remixed other artists, like you see here, Velázquez. But the fashion houses had money and power on their side, and they ran Dan's shop out of business. He went back underground, battled financial troubles and some sad days, struggling with the next step after a life's work was shut down. Now in his 70s, what was left? And I want to tell you, this story could end there. But that thing about artists copying and stealing, it came full circle as one of the fashion houses that sued Dan was now copying his signature look. You see here from 1989, the Dapper Dan outfit, and Gucci echoing it in this runway jacket in 2017, igniting controversy over why a corporation gets to do the very thing it sued Dan over. Now, they first claimed it was an homage, and the story might end there with some blowback until people moved on. But then Gucci partnered with Dan to reopen his boutique in Harlem so they could make clothes together, uniting the fashions of the runway and the street under one roof and offering an alternative ending for two styles that were so rivalrous they competed as they copied each other. This all includes Dan's triumphant return and his appearance at the height of fashion Anna Wintour's Met Gala just this past May. Dan says people coveted his fashions because he deconstructed brands to the essence of their power, crests that signified wealth, respect, and prestige. He explains, my customers wanted to buy into that power. Dan built wealth, respect, and power for himself and his community and lost some of it when those corporations came for him. It's a testament to his work and the spirit of Harlem that he now stands taller than ever astride these two worlds, drawing respect and power from both. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.